This video will show you a quick introduction on how to go from an outline to an actual paper. Or I guess, what your responsibilities are in going from an outline to an actual paper. Now, as we said before, the actual writing of the actual paper is not that tough. For a research assignment, really your job is connecting the ideas, because none of the ideas are yours. It's a research assignment. You didn't do any of this research. You just found an article that did that, and you're quoting them. So your job is really to put together the ideas from various articles and write some connective tissue. So here I have an outline here. I have my complete attention catcher. I have a little background information. And I have my thesis. Then I have complete sentences of the topic sentences. And I have my individual note cards. I have that for the problem. I have that for the solution. I have that for the best solution. In the conclusion, I'm echoing what happened in the introduction. So if I started with an imaginary story like I have here, I want to echo that in the conclusion. If I started with a personal story in the introduction, I want to echo that in the conclusion. If I started with a shocking statistic in the introduction, I want to reintroduce that in the conclusion. And then I want to take it kind of a step further and talk about what the reader can do to help the problem. So once that's done, here's what you really should be doing. With each one of these note cards, put your quote or your paraphrase or your summary in each one. Now that I have all those in there, this is what card 16 said, this is what card 10 said. Once I have all those in here, delete all the note card numbers, because we don't need those anymore. And now, I want to get rid of all of these numbers. So I don't want that anymore, I don't want that, I don't want that. So now that I've gotten rid of the numbering, my job is really pretty simple from this point. I already have 876 words. I already have 2 pages of information here. My job as a writer now is to make sure that this introduction sounds good with the attention catcher and the background information and the thesis. If I needed to add a couple extra words or a couple sentences or take something out or reword something, that's my job. As a writer, going from an outline to an actual paper, that's my job. Here, in the problem, what is a feral hog? If that doesn't make any sense as a topic sentence, I can change that now. I don't have to keep that. If it sounds good, keep it. But I'm probably going to need something between that and my quote. So my job as a writer is to put a sentence right here. Also, at the end of every quote, I'm supposed to have some sort of explanation. Why does this quote prove the topic sentence? So I'm going to have to put something right here. Now, in the particular problem area, I have quite a few topic sentences and quite a few facts, quite a few quotes, quite a few summaries. Now it's my job as a writer to figure out which one of these need to stay, which one of these need to go, which one of these need lots of explanation, which need just a little bit. That's really the job of the writer. So as I said, there's not much to this anymore. Like, you've done the hard stuff. You've done the difficult, time-consuming task of looking stuff up, citing it, putting them on note cards, figuring out where you can go, figuring out what's a good source, what's a bad source. The problem is now, you have to actually sit down, use a little bit of imagination, and somehow, some way get from The best solution is to trap them. And the best method for keeping feral hogs out of any area is, it will be your job to put a sentence right here somewhere to explain how this can get to this without sounding like a list of sentences. It'll be your job to talk about why this is the best solution, to explain it, to use a quote sandwich.